Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Dandadan episode number 7 reaction. So the previous episode, Turbo Granny went to school with Okarun and we were able to figure out who has Okarun's balls. Turns out it was that one girl, and that girl, because she has come in contact with the balls, she can now like see the supernatural and like these type of things. And she thought like Momo was some kind of like evil being because she had the telekinetic hands behind her, and she took it to herself that she was like, oh, I'm the chosen one, that's why God gave me this power, I'm going to save the world. Like takes Momo to an abandoned warehouse and jumps her, but it turns out she was a victim in this situation because someone else was targeting her. This being same was acrobatic Silky, and like she targeted her, and like a lot of things happen after that. They have a battle. Acrobatic Silky just like swallows everyone, but in the end, because of Turbo Granny and the fact that she's inside a mannequin echo, she brought luck to them, and we were able to get out of that particular situation. Now we'll have to, I don't know, like stop Acrobatic Silky, I guess. So let's see what happens. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. What the hell is going on? Someone's. What? Okay. Ida, that's her name. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Damn, like it's pretty difficult to run like that, with the hands tied back. Whoa. Good God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh no. Good God. Yo, she kicked. Damn. Oh no. Okay, that wasn't part of the. Ah, yeah, nah, man. Oh, wait. Is that Momo? Yep. Oh, well, yeah, her hair is quite long. That's why he was like running around the whole place to tangle her up. Oh, I guess she can do that as well. Yeah, makes sense. Oh boy. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh no, she's tearing her hair out. Oh wow, so it's all unconscious. Yeah, maybe. Oh, damn. Yo, crazy. Yeah. Oh, headbutt. Did he headbutt her? Damn, that was quite a powerful. Ah, double granny. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, why would he have a scissor? Wait, oh no. Oh, thank God. I thought they lost it again or something. One of your family jewels. Wait. Oh no. What? I was wondering, she was awfully quiet for like obviously I thought at first I thought she was unconscious or something. Wait, so oh my God. She was still alive, wasn't she when Acrobatic Silky was like, oh, like like call me mother or something like that? No, she swallowed her. Maybe it's then that something happened and she lost her life. To a kinder world. No. But yeah, that's why these two nothing happened to them. No, but how does something happen when she, damn, that's crazy. Oh no. Well, you killed her. Yeah, you want to eat her? No. Wait, but was. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, she broke her jaw so that the aura, yeah. Yeah. Damn, that transformation is crazy. Hmm. Okay. Is this her memories? Yeah, I think so. Like when I guess when acrobatic silk was a human. Hmm. So that's her. Oh. Oh, that's her kid. That's why, she always said like, "Oh, call me mother." She taught her acrobatics. Now, something probably happened to her kid. Hmm. Damn, the way they did this is so like this, like they're not speaking, they're not saying anything. It's just scenes after scenes. Oh, oh boy. Oh god. Oh. Oh. Well, the loan sharks, I'm assuming. Wait, did she die? No, okay. Oh, that was the scene at the beginning of today's episode. Oh. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, she became a ghost, I think. Oh, this is where Ida found her. Oh, her mom also left or probably died something. Yeah, so she's not alive. That's why she's looking for her mother. Mm. No, I guess she kind of made a mistake over there. Like she mixed up the Yeah, and she became a. No, she probably felt it. If she was being the connector, she also felt it. She's probably like, yeah. Oh, probably going to keep wandering. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I guess Ira can probably do something. And since they were, Momo was connecting both of them, Ida probably also felt those memories. Oh boy. Right. Okay. And that was today's episode. Wow, that was yeah, that was very emotional, today's episode. Um, right. So today we got to see the, I guess you could see the conclusion to the whole um, acrobatic silky, uh, like that story. So first and foremost, now I guess you see, like there's a section where she kind of goes crazy. She was like, "Oh, if you're not going to call me mother, then I'm going to consume you, and we will stay together forever." She's saying stuff like that, and then later on, after she you know dies, like Ida dies, like she came in and she's like, "Oh, I can help you. I can like exchange my aura, transfer my aura to her, and this is how I can make her come back to life again." Like that drastic change, at first I wasn't able to understand why suddenly, like she was just talking about like consuming her, and then she suddenly changed like so drastically. But then I realized, as she was talking about it, the whole the section about where, throughout the whole section where she was obsessed with Ira, and talking about like eating her, or consuming her. And like at first it was like, "I'll protect you," but then little by little it kind of goes to like a more drastic situation. And that happened because of her, because she became a yokai. Like like when, like people, or people here in this situation, when a person becomes a ghost or like a wandering spirit, like a yokai or something, they, I guess, like it's pretty obvious, but they kind of lose their like original, the way they are. Like if they want to protect something, and that is like their regret, or lingering regret that that person has still left even after death, they become like a wandering spirit, and they keep wandering around. And because of that obsession or that regret, it kind of makes them into this ghost, or this yokai, this demon, which like kind of obsesses about it so much that it twists the whole thing. Even if the sentiment was something positive, it gets twisted into something negative. So I guess her like sentiment of protecting her daughter, and then when Ida was came in front of her, protecting Ida, became like a twisted version of it. And that is why like she became a yokai, and she became this obsessive like ghost that kind of kept haunting her. And when like Ida didn't call her mother, she became furious, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to eat you," so that is definitely not what she felt. That was just like a byproduct of her becoming a spirit and wandering around. In the very end, when Ira loses her life, she probably was able to regain back her normal, I guess you could say, sentiment, or her normal, um, her previous, uh, like her previous version of herself, where she wanted to protect her. She probably regained that back, and that is why she was able to help her. So it's not only for acrobatic silky. I'm guessing this is something that holds true for, I guess, every single, like spirit, or like a yokai, or like a ghost or demon. Like whatever they have, their regrets, the reason why they are bound to this world, it kind of becomes like a obsessive, like a twisted version of the original sentiment. And that's why they do these type of things without even knowing or realizing that what they're doing is not something that they would have wanted to do when they were alive. For this lady, she wanted to protect Ira, but that protect Ira became this obsessive kind of thing. Like, like obviously it's nothing surprising, because not only for ghosts, this happens with human beings as well. Like when like people who like obsess about something, like they, at first it kind of starts with a positive sentiment, and then they start like kind of twisting it in such a way that it kind of becomes like an obsessive like sentiment, and people like commit crimes, and like like they become like like stalkers and stuff. That's literally what it is. So like if that can happen to humans, like obviously ghosts, they are just like they will be more susceptible to that. um so yeah, that's why this happened. At first I was also like, oh, she was like she was literally talking about eating her or whatever. Like, I actually thought she was going to say something like, oh, let me eat her, then like that's how she'll be able to live, or like something like that. I thought she was going to say, but no, she didn't say that. She was like, oh, I'm going to transfer my aura. And then I realized that, yeah, it's kind of true, because what she was talking about was like her obsessive personality, and the reason why she wanted to eat her was because she's a ghost, and her being a ghost and a yokai, it kind of like like twisted her sentiments and made her like this. She's obviously not, her original sentiment wasn't like this. She probably did want to help her out and protect her. And as we saw after that, the whole backstory, we realized that, yeah, that is exactly what it was. Her becoming a ghost made her like this, you know kind of twisted her own feelings into this obsessive kind of thing. Yeah. So right. Okay. That was that. Now the backstory, the past. The past was very emotional. I really liked how they kind of did that whole section, like the first section of the flashback. There was like up until a certain point, they there was no dialogue or conversation. Like it kind of began with her coming back home and greeting her daughter and teaching her acrobatics, like going to work, paying her, like the loan sharks. I'm guessing she probably took like loans or something happened, and she probably was in debt, and that's why she was trying her best to like pay back. And I'm guessing the loan sharks probably threatened her and said something like, oh, you better pay us back like every month. If we'll come, and if we don't get our payment, we'll take your daughter away, something like that they told. And that's why in the end, I'm guessing there was like probably a day where she wasn't able to pay, and that's why they came and like literally took her daughter away. I don't know if that's what happened, but that seems like the most probable scenario, like what actually happened there. you know um so yeah. And that is why, up until that section, everything was like there was no dialogue or anything. There was just that music playing, and just one scene after the other, like showing how they lived their life. And then when that scene happens, things starts changing, with the daughter crying, and then these guys taking the daughter away, her then screaming, going out into the road and wandering around trying to find her daughter, unable to find her. Yeah, she falls down, and then she starts dancing. I guess that part was really beautifully done. Like, but I'm not able to understand one thing here. Like, I'm guessing like she probably jumped from somewhere. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it seemed like she jumped, and like she was like falling or something, and then there was a noise, like as if her neck broke or something, like some kind of a noise like that, like some part of her body broke. Yeah, like there's like a blunt like thud, that like a sound effect that happened. So that's why I'm saying, I'm guessing she probably jumped from somewhere. I don't know what exactly happened, but it was something like that. um and then she suddenly, like like after dying, she suddenly is like in the middle of the road standing. And I guess that is what, like, it is for people who become spirits and wander around. Like it's as if nothing happened. They probably don't even realize that they died. Again, like obviously I cannot really say, because I'm still not dead yet. But I'm assuming this is probably something that happens. Like, you just like, you're like alive, and then you die and you don't even realize you're dead. Because I guess if you realize you're dead, then that will probably be it. But you don't realize you're dead, and so you keep wandering around trying to like complete your lingering regrets. Like obviously it only happens if you have some kind of regret. If you don't have any regrets, I guess, which is obviously very difficult, to achieve. Like it's very difficult to achieve something like that. People definitely have some kind of regrets when they die, and like not having regrets when you die is like very rare, or it barely even happens. Like every person has some kind of regrets, but obviously when the regret is like some kind of obsessive, like not an obsessive but some kind of a very like strong regret like this, they probably become this yokai, and they don't even probably realize that, oh, I'm dead, and she was just there, and she suddenly is like standing in the middle of the road, and she is like, oh, I have to find my daughter. And then the first girl who came and like tugged her dress, she looked at her, which was Ida, and she was like, oh, that's my daughter. And she was like, I'll have to protect you, obviously, because in her life she wasn't able to protect her daughter. Now after that she has this whole like obsessive, like I guess you could say this obsessive like thought of like, oh, I need to do everything so that I can protect her. So from that point onwards, I guess she kept started keeping an eye on her. And like I said, this part kind of confused me in the previous episode, because I was like, didn't they say that Ira gained the ability to see spirits after she touched Okarun's balls? That sounds weird, but that's exactly what happened. But like they didn't really explicitly mention it here, but I'm assuming it was because she was a child. Like children, animals, they have higher spiritual perception, and they can see ghosts and like otherworldly creatures. So because she was a child, she probably saw her and she thought that that was her mom. So Ira was like, "Oh, mom," and then she's like, "Oh no, it's not mom," and like she goes back. But that is all it took. That is all it took for acrobatic Silky to be like, oh, that's my daughter. And like I said, she, because she became a yokai, she herself probably lost a lot of memories, and she wasn't able to realize that that wasn't her daughter. She thought that was her daughter. That was and she wanted to protect her, because there was that section you can see where she's like, oh, that's my daughter, and they show the picture, and you can see in the picture like the blood is like all over her daughter's face, which was, I guess, in a symbolic way that kind of like represented how she didn't remember her daughter's face as well. She probably forgot everything, because she died and she became a yokai. She remembered nothing, probably only the feeling of protecting her daughter. And the first person that called her mom, she mistook her for her daughter, and that's all it took. She thought that was her daughter, and she started like following her and everything. And yeah, and another thing, I guess, is probably another reason why Ira was able to find her, because again, like I said, since she's a kid, she probably had a heightened spiritual perception. That's why she was able to find a yokai. But not only that, but I feel like there's also another reason why she was able to find acrobatic Silky, is probably because she was trying to find her mother. Just like how she was trying to find her daughter, she was trying to find her Ira was trying to find her mother, who like passed away, as the father said that she passed away a few, I think, like months or days ago. And but as a kid, as a child, she had no like understanding of that, so she was like, oh, where's mom? And she was probably looking for her mother, and that's why she was able to find acrobatic Silky. If she wasn't looking for her mother, if her mother was there beside her, this probably wouldn't have ever happened. Because she was also looking for her mother, and I guess acrobatic Silky was also looking for her daughter. This happened. As they say, like it takes two to tango. Basically that. It took both sides to for them to, I guess you could say, meet. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. If either of them didn't have like the the desire to meet her daughter or slash mother, this wouldn't have happened. So yeah, that is why this whole thing. And after like she almost died, Ida, like acrobatic Cynthia was able to break out of that, and she was like, oh, I know how to help her out. And because Momo was being the connector between those two, Momo also felt those feelings. Like Momo saw those past, saw her past, and Ida, because she was the one who was being fed her, or acrobatic or Silky's aura, she also got to see those memories. So, in the end, like as Turbo Granny said, that if if she still has like lingering regrets, and since she is like passing away like this, she'll never be able to become part of any other world. She'll just like go away to oblivion. Nobody will remember her, be it alive, be it dead. She'll just go into like a space where everything is void. Yeah, but in the end, Ida hugged her and Ida was like, I'll remember you. I guess that probably gave her a little bit of, like a little bit of a closure, which hopefully was enough to, for her to, not be forgotten by, like the world. And maybe she'll be reborn again or something. I don't know, like, because that's usually what happens, she'll be reborn again or something, and she won't like just like melt away into the nothingness. That won't happen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that was today's episode. Oh boy. Hmm. Yeah, that was really good. And yeah, there you go. So that was that. Was there anything else to discuss? No, that was it. Because majority of today's episode was like the backstory, and the other part of the episode, the first half, was basically them trying to run away from um, acrobatic Silky. Right. Oh. So yeah, that is it. That was my reaction, and I do wonder if there is. I'm sure there is, like like a story like this, like for Turbo Granny, because Turbo Granny, obviously we did get to hear a little bit about her, like the fact that she goes around in these different places trying to console like girls who have lost their life in a brutal manner. That's why she was there in that tunnel. She does that, and I'm like I'm assuming she probably does that because something happened to when she was alive, and maybe like something like this is happened, something like similar to like acrobatic Silky story happened, which made her, after she became a yokai, which made her like this. Now there's also another thing I'm wondering, which is, it's very interesting because you can see acrobatic Silky lost her mind completely after becoming a yokai and having this obsessive like thing, and that's why she lost everything, and her own wish to protect Ida became this twisted type of thing. Compared to that, Turbo Granny seems a lot more calmer. You can see she's a lot more calmer. She can actually like properly sit down and think. I do wonder if there's a reason behind that. you know maybe it's something like she has been a yokai for a long time, because Turbo Granny has been there for a long time. She's like one of the, I guess like you could say like the OG yokais or something. I don't know. She's been there for a long time. Maybe that is why, because the amount of time she has spent is so long, maybe she was able to regain her sense of self, but she still keeps wandering around because she maybe has some kind of lingering regret. I don't know, but Tabugan is so different. That is like very interesting because like you can see, compared to acrobatic Silky, like Tabugan knows what she's doing. She's like she has like, you could say like she has like a proper consciousness. Like she knows what she's doing, and she knows that she's a yokai. She also understands like all the others. So I do wonder if there's something special about her. I think it's probably the time. She's a very old yokai. She has been like in this business for a long time. So I guess that probably made her a lot more stable than maybe like the the recent yokais that are here, and the young ones. Yeah, something like that. I'm assuming. I guess Turbogan also kind of mentioned that in the previous episode only. She said something like, "Oh, when acrobatic and Granny was not acrobatic Granny, what the hell? Acrobatic Silky was like confronting Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny said something like, "Oh, like you're just a little kid in front of me. I'm the like the grand senpai of you." Something like that she said. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Like the amount of time they live as a yokai, it probably like kind of stabilizes them more and more. And now she is like a proper entity in this world, where she knows what she is, she knows what she's doing, and she's able to keep her yokai form still. And like, yeah, unlike acrobatic Silky, who was very new, so that's why she still was probably in that first phase of her completely losing her mind or something. I don't know. Either way, yeah, and that was today's episode. Okay, so that was that. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, you can see that part where we see that scene, like that POV scene where someone's like kind of running out into the streets, and then we cut off to like acrobatic Silky looking in front of her, and like Okadun, Momo, and Aya are over there. And yeah, now obviously at this point, everyone thought that Ira's still alive. Everyone thought that she's like unconscious or something, you know, because Okarun and Momo was okay, so they didn't even think that, oh, something might have happened to her. So after that, they're like, all right, you know what? Let's take care of Acrobatic Silky. Acrobatic Silky tries to attack them, but like Momo and Okarun starts running away from her, and Okarun's like carrying Ida, while Momo is like going around and everything. Okay. After that, you can see Momo, like Okarun, kind of rushes around in such a way that going through the different, like like the it was a construction kind of like it's like a warehouse. So all the like pillars and everything, he goes around them in such a way that it tangles up Acrobatic Silky's hair, and she gets stuck. And seeing this, Acrobatic Silky tries to use her leg to attack, but then Momo comes in and also kind of stops her legs using her telekinetic power. You know, and that doesn't work, because you can see she starts like tearing her own hair. So Momo's like, Okarun, do something, like like anything, like previously we saw what you did, like bring that out. Obviously Okarun still doesn't know how to do it, because that back then it was more of an involuntary way, because he was in a pinch. So that's why he was able to do it. This time, however, yeah, this is also a pinch, but he's not really in that type of a situation, so he doesn't know what to do, how to voluntarily do it. Either way, like this becomes a problem, because Momo's like, what the hell now, what do we do? And Acrobatic Silky tries to go towards Momo, but then finally Okarun is able to bring out his double granny self, and just I think like he kind of like headbutts her in the stomach, like I'm guessing using his speed. He probably like jumps like straight like a cannonball, and it was such an impact that she got completely blasted out, and there you go. So that's how we were able to win the battle. Then we like retrieve the ball, and Momo's like, oh, thank God you got your ball back, haha. Obviously it's one ball, so we'll have to find the other one. But this is where like Turbo Grand is like, oh, she's dead. So this is where everything starts. So now that she is dead, like Turbo Grand is like, like nothing will help her. Momo tries to do like a cardiac massage using her power, which can directly like massage her heart, but it doesn't work. Okarun does CPR, that also doesn't work. And like Turbo Grand is like, yeah, like she's dead, like no amount of cardiac massage is going to help her. Like you cannot really bring a dead back to life like that. It's not that simple. Okay, so yeah, this continues, and then finally you can see Acrobatic Silky comes out, and you can see Acrobatic Silky's hair is all gone. She tore everything. She tore her whole hair, and she's here, and Acrobatic Silky is like, I know what I can do. I can help her out. Obviously, nobody's believing her. Like Momo's like, how? Like, I don't believe you. Like, you might try to attack her. At which she's like, fine, and then she breaks her jaw, and she's like, if you want to you can now believe me. I cannot eat anyone or try to attack anyone like this. Also, if you're really concerned, then you can stay, keep an eye on me, and if I do anything wrong, you can destroy me then and there. Yeah. So obviously Momo's like, okay, so what can you do? How will you be able to save her? So she says, what's that part? Just a minute. Okay, there's a better way. Give my aura to Ida. Aura is like a battery for organisms. Motors don't move without batteries, okay? Yes? Ida's aura is almost gone. You can augment it in with my own. Now, like this part kind of confused me because I was like, what, like what aura? What is she talking about? You know. But now that I'm listening to it properly, I guess you could say this is like life force, basically. Like, you know, like aura sounds weird because, you know, like usually I associate aura with like, you know, like when fighting that aura, like, you know, like, but like I guess in a better way, at least it's easier for me to understand if I like replace aura with like life force. Like you can say that she's talking about giving her life force to Ida, you know, and like that is how, you know, as she said, like the aura is basically like the battery of the body, and the body has like motors, and you know, like the motor, you need a battery to run that motor, and aura is that battery. And yeah, so in a way, like I said, life force, or you can also say soul, basically, like, you know, power, like, you know, like something that constitutes a soul. Like, you know, like how do people die? I guess nobody really has that answer. Like, you know, like in a scientific way, people might say that, oh, like, you know, you die when your body stops functioning, when your heart stops beating, it doesn't pump blood anymore, or something happens in your body which, you know, like kind of breaks everything down and your body stops functioning. That is when you are not alive anymore, you know. So that's like a scientific way of, you know, saying it. But then what is that life? Like, you know, like that life, that force, that soul, like that is something that we call soul, I guess, you know. Like if the soul is not there, the body won't do anything. So in this way, I guess you could say, like she was literally saying, since her soul's power has diminished so much, you know, it's not enough to move her body. So if you can give my soul to her, you know, you can replenish her soul. And obviously I will lose my soul and I'll probably disappear, but you know, that's how you can do it. And yeah, so in a simple way, I guess that's what happened. um right. Okay, so then after that, Mo was like, okay, fine, how do we do it? So she says, like, you know, you can use your power to connect my soul with her soul, like both of our auras, and then I can transfer my aura to her. And Momo does that, and Momo also tells Okarun to transform, and she's like, keep an eye on her in case she does something, you know, like immediately kill her. Right. So, okay. After that, um, you know, that happens, and she starts transferring her like aura, and then we start the backstory. So in this backstory, we see this lady here, which is obviously acrobatic Silky. You can see that she does a lot of things to, you know, like um, gain money, you know, like to earn money. You know, first we see this, she was probably in this like hotel room, she was like, you know, like she has like this money inside, beside her. And not only that, she also does, like, you know, as we saw later on, she does a lot of part-time jobs. She does like she was like in a construction, I think, like, you know, like she was working or something, yeah. And then she was also like in a grocery store, like, you know, like a department store, selling like, you know, like stuff and everything. Like she had like a lot of like jobs like this, little by little, trying to earn money to probably pay off the debtors. Now again, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if that was the problem, like she was actually trying to pay off her debt, but that's what it seemed like, at least in the end. You know, when those guys came in and they were taking money from her, it seems like some kind of a loan shark, you know, like situation. Like she had like some kind of huge debt or something like that. Again, nobody knows how she accrued this amount of debt. Maybe, like, you know, like seeing that she doesn't have a, like, you know, like husband, I'm assuming it's probably either something happened to the husband, he died, and there's like a lot of debt, or the husband ran away, like either of it, I'm assuming. and like left everything to her, and now she's like, like head deep into this debt. So again, they didn't really explain that detail, but I'm assuming it is something like that. And like she had to like repay that debt, and that's why she was doing all of these, and like also trying to keep her daughter happy. um, she comes back home and her daughter comes and hugs her, and then you can see, like like this part was really well done. Like I said, they don't really do any type of like dialogue from here onwards, and this was the last dialogue we hear when she was like, "Oh, I'm back," and her daughter was like, "Oh, welcome home," and that was it from the dialogues. No more dialogue after that. We just like hear a little bit of music, and we see how like she is teaching her daughter how to do like like acrobatics and everything, like like a normal family, like eating, playing with her, doing these things, and yeah, going to places, snapping pictures, and when she's outside, she's like earning money. She also bought her a dress. They did like a little birthday party, you saw, like normal stuff that families do. Yeah, she's doing everything, and along with her, along with her going and like earning money as well. Also, another thing you can see, again, I'm not 100% sure if that was the reason, but she had like, you can see that she like brought her like a dress and everything, but her shoe, she was still like like her daughter was using her shoe. You can see her shoe was like quite big, and her daughter was using that shoe. Either her daughter wanted to wear that shoe, or maybe she didn't have enough to afford a shoe, because shoes are pricey, like like a good pair of shoes are very pricey. So again, there's not really any type of indication or anything like that. I'm just assuming maybe that's why she was wearing her mother's shoe. It was probably her shoes, and that her daughter was wearing, or her daughter wanted to wear her mother's shoes, either of it. um, and yeah, and that's how everything was going. But then like I said, this part was done really well, because there was no dialogue, nothing, like scene after scene. We kind of move from one scene to another, and they really show everything what happened, and no dialogue is actually required. We just see the scenes and we understand what is going on very clearly. Right, and then again the dialogue begins from here, where things goes wrong. Like these loan sharks come in and they're like beating her up, and like literally attacking her with the glasses and glass and everything. Like the glass like breaks apart, and it like cuts her hand and everything. And then they take the daughter and you know just go away. So this is why this is the reason why I assumed that these are loan sharks, because like I think they probably said something like, you'll have to return the money back. If you're not able to return the money back, we'll take your daughter. And that's exactly what they did, I guess, over here. They took her daughter and went away, like put her in a car. And for, like for a good moment you can see like she fell down, because like her eyes were like completely slashed, her hands were slashed and everything. And yeah, so she fell down and she couldn't move for a long while, but then she gets up and she starts rushing out, trying to chase the car. And unfortunately she couldn't. By the end she falls down and the car speeds away. So obviously she has no way of knowing what happened to her daughter. She's just there, and then she starts dancing. And this part was really beautiful. Like I said, you know it seemed like she's like dancing on like a water surface. Yeah, it was a water surface. And there's like distant, like like little twinkling like things, like that was probably the city, the city lights. And on top of that there was the starry sky. And yeah, she was like dancing like that. Again, I'm like I said, I'm not 100% sure what happened here, but I'm assuming she jumped from somewhere, because she jumps and she seems like she's falling, and there was like a noise as if something broke. So I'm guessing she like broke her neck or something happened. And the final thing that she remembered was her daughter, like hugging her. And yeah, Then she wakes up and she couldn't remember anything. She doesn't even realize probably that she's dead. And she's like, I feel like I lost something dear to me. And then this is where Ida saw her and kind of tugged her. She looked at her and Ida's like, oh, you're not my mom. And then she goes on her way. But this, as she said, she's forgotten everything. The feeling of like, losing her daughter was there. That's why she mistook Ida for her daughter. And she's like, oh, there, I finally found you. Now I can protect you. I'll keep my eye on you. And this is where she became this yokai. Her like simple like sentiment of protecting her daughter got twisted into this thing, this like twisted version of, yeah. And this is where her hair starts growing and everything. And yeah, there you go. Again, like I said, if she was looking for her daughter, Ida was looking for her mother. If Ida wasn't looking for her mother, if her mother was still alive, this probably wouldn't have happened, because both of them were looking for their daughter and she was looking for her mother. This happened, and because Ida was a kid, she had like a higher spiritual perception. That's why she was able to find her, even though she was a yokai, or she was starting to become a ghost. She was a wandering spirit at that point, but then she became this yokai. All right, and there you go. That was that. And the flashback is over. Like Okarun, like Momo's like crying and everything. Okarun's like, "What happened? Did she hurt you?" And then Ida also wakes up, and Okarun's like, "Okay, let me take care of her then." But Momo's like, "No, stop. Like don't do anything." And yeah, this is where Acrobatic Silky talks to Ida. She's like, "I'm sorry. I wanted to protect you, but all I did was hurt you, and I didn't realize it, what I was doing." Yeah. And then you can see she's like crumbling away. This is where like Momo's like, oh, what's happening, what will happen to her? And Turbo Grind says like she's going to the void, nothing will like be left of her. She'll be forgotten by everything and everyone. It will be as if she never existed in any world, the living and the dead. Everyone will forget about her. Yeah. So Momo's like, can't we do something? And Turbo Grind's like, ah, leave her alone, like she did a lot of bad things, like, yeah, there's no only reason to think of her like this. But Mo's like, come on, like, like we all know what happened. Either way, Taburgan is like, there's no way you can help her out in this situation unless and until her own regrets gets calmed and she finds peace. This is never going to happen. But this is where Ida comes and hugs her, and and Ida says like, oh, like I love you or something like that. She says, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and then Acrobatic Silky little by little breaks apart. This part was very emotional because she was saying like like she was saying something like what did she say? Yeah, something like, oh, like like I I wasn't able to give you anything, uh just because you were born. Here we go. I made you so unfortunate. Okay, just a minute. Here we go. I wish I could have played a lot more with you, um, more properly, more. If you weren't born as my child, you would have been so much more happier. I made you so unfortunate. I'm so sorry. Yeah, and this is where Ida comes and hugs her. Yeah, and she's like, I'll not forget you, and I hope both you and your daughter go into a world where you're more fortunate. Now, here's the thing. This is the part. Wait a minute. This part. Please, so that nobody ever hurts them. Now, like she said something like this here, assuming that her daughter also died, but I feel like there's a high possibility her daughter is still alive. They probably like, I don't know, like they probably like sold her off or something. Her daughter is probably not dead. But like Ida said that, please, so that nobody ever hurts them, and whichever world they go to, they can live happily over there. I think that's what she says after this. Yeah, take them to a far more fortunate kind of world. Like, yeah, there is a high possibility that they killed off her daughter as well, but I don't think they're just going to do that. Like the people who took her away, they probably, again, I don't know what they did to her. Like the most probable thing that they did to her was probably sell her off, and and I'm assuming like daughter is still alive somewhere, and she is living a very unfortunate life, like, and that's more depressing thinking about it. you know like if she was dead, then that's, I guess, like, again, it's a closure, like, both her mom and she and the daughter died, and that's it. But I don't think the daughter died. The daughter is, yeah, she's not like, like she's her, whatever's happening, whatever life she's living now is probably very unfortunate. Right. And she crumbles apart and goes, and that's where it ended. Yeah, that was a great episode, and yeah, very well done. That was really good. This episode was really well done. Like, all the scenes and everything, the flashback and everything were done absolutely perfectly. The whole section where there wasn't any dialogue, only the scenes and the music was good enough to kind of portray to us what was going on. And like every single thing, like the way they kind of um like showed that section was very well done. um and yeah. Okay, and that was today's episode. That was Dandadan episode 7. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Dandadan. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.